Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Wadash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy, to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the sea land of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, and Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah. This lesson is edifying and informative. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. In the news from Reuters. North Korea claims almost 800,000 have signed up to fight against U.S. Published 2 days ago. Troops take part in a military parade to mark the 75th founding anniversary of North Korea's army in Pyongyang, North Korea, February the 8th, 2023. In this photo released by North Korea's Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, via Reuters/file photo. Seoul, March 18, Reuters. North Korea claims that about 800,000 of its citizens volunteered to join or re-enlist in the nation's military to fight against the United States, North Korea's state newspaper reported on Saturday. About 800,000 students and workers on Friday alone across the country expressed a desire to enlist or re-enlist in the military to counter the United States. The Rodong Shinmun newspaper reported. The soaring enthusiasm of young people to join the army is a demonstration of the unshakable will of the younger generation to mercilessly wipe out the war maniacs, making last-ditch efforts to eliminate our precious socialist country and achieve the great cause of national reunification without fail, and a clear manifestation of their ardent patriotism, the North's Rodong Sinmun said. This is an example of a weak nation boasting of itself. In fact, North Korea, which was considered to be once a weak nation, is now considered to be a threat because now it possesses multiple intercontinental ballistic missiles and have since been boasting of their might before the theater of the world. And now they're doing so via their military. in the form of their troops, in the form of their numbers. All the mighty men of war are being stirred up, and the Lord is setting things in place for when the Thoros woe begins, which, by the way, according to Revelation chapter 11, verse 14, it cometh quickly, and it will come after the MOTB has been mandated globally. Okay? Reading on, it says, the North's claim came after North Korea on Thursday launched its Hwasong 17 intercontinental ballistic missile. There it goes, one of them, in response to ongoing U.S.-South Korean military drills. North Korea fired the ICBM into the sea between the Korean Peninsula and Japan on Thursday, hours before South Korea's president flew to Tokyo for a summit that discussed ways to counter the nuclear-armed North. The North's ballistic missiles are banned under United Nations Security Council resolutions, and the launch drew condemnation from governments in Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo. South Korean and American forces began 11 days of joint drills, dubbed Freedom Shield 23, on Monday, held on a scale not seen since 2017 to counter the North's growing threats of their military might exponentially increasing. Kim accused the United States and South Korea of increasing tensions with the military drills. Reporting by Hee-Kyung Yang, editing by David Criorio and So Nali Paul. This includes the article. And so North Korea is steadily increasing its military might. And now it's recently claimed that almost 800,000 of its younger generations have signed up to fight in its military against the U.S. And also those that had re-enlisted. In other news from Yahoo.News, NATO considering deployment of up to 300,000 troops on border with Russia. NATO is discussing the need to strengthen the eastern borders with Russia by concentrating equipment and a military contingent of up to 300,000 soldiers, which would prevent Russia from expanding the war beyond Ukraine. This will obviously trigger Russia really aggressively, because they've warned in the past of being too close to their borders, of NATO being too close to their borders. It's one of the reasons why they attacked Ukraine. Political writes that NATO intends to stop Russia if it decides to expand the war beyond Ukraine. Because of this, the alliance is talking about strengthening its eastern borders and the need to send up to 300,000 troops to the border. Such actions will require coordination and great efforts from the 30 NATO members to provide soldiers, training facilities, large quantities of weapons, equipment, and ammunition. However, the news outlet emphasized that coordination may be challenging, as many allies are already concerned about their own insufficient ammunition stock, which take time and money to replenish. So now we're seeing that America's allies are beginning to focus more on themselves. Okay, and remember, her allies are going to turn against her, according to the book of Revelation 17. It says, political rights that NATO military leaders are to submit updated regional defense plans. Alliance officials are putting forward the idea that its borders with Russia should be guarded by up to 300,000 troops, the news outlet reports. It is noted that the first echelon of NATO troops may consist of about 100,000 soldiers, ready to deploy within 10 days. It may include troops from Poland, Norway, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Notice that America, which pretty much runs NATO, as we all know, are having her allies be cannon fodder. The second echelon of troops, political rights, will support these soldiers ready to be deployed within 10 to 30 days from countries such as Germany. So eventually they're gonna catch on to what this great war is doing. America is just simply using her allies as leverage to forward her agenda. And America is Babylon the Great according to the Bible, according to biblical prophecy. Okay? So now let's get the scriptures again, real brief. Nothing long, sweet, short to the point. Joel chapter 3, verse 9 says again, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen nations. Prepare war for what war? The thorough woe which comes quickly. According to Revelation chapter 17. Wake up the mighty men. Excuse me, not 17, 11 verse 14. I'm thinking about Revelation 17 with America's allies turning against America. But as concerned the thorough woe, you can go to Revelation chapter 11 verse 14 and read about that. All right, it says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near where? Near the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is located in the Middle East, in the Arabian Peninsula. That's why the Lord had the angel drive the river Euphrates, according to Revelation 16. It says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let all the men of war, let the weak say, I am strong. So they're basically taking all of their economic wealth and using them towards the research, development, and enhancements of weapons of mass destruction. Okay, weak nations such as North Korea, Iran, that were once weak, are now strong, and they're boasting in their might and of their might. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. And who are the mighty ones? The angels. Where they're going to assemble themselves and come up, where the heathens are going to go and do all that? In the valley of Jehoshaphat. As it's going to say in verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which in Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Most High's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Lord's going to bring judgment upon the heathen nations and round about in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay? So with that, I will conclude this lesson. Lord's was informative, straight to the point. Until the next Lord's Zone, I say shalom to the elect.